Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Well, it is the 4th, and the California Democrats are already at it, trying to infringe on your rights to keep and bear arms. Now, normally we don't get too political with the whole Republicans-Democrats thing, but today we are talking about how several California Democrats are again attempting to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms and allow individuals to sue gun makers. Let's talk about it. But before we do, I do want to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video. It is Sonoran Desert Institute, SDI. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about them before. If you're looking to get into gunsmithing, get learned on some gunsmithification, SDI is the choice for you. I was kind of skeptical about taking this ad at first, but I actually learned that a good friend of mine actually is an adjunct professor there, or is starting soon as an adjunct professor there, and that was really cool. I'm very happy to support them, very happy that they're supporting me. Seems like a really cool way to get yourself learning about some guns. So the bill that we are talking about today, I'm going to be reading from my phone, is Assembly Bill 1594. I'm going to have a link to this down in the description, maybe also in the pinned comment. Now, this is introduced by Assembly members Ting, Gibson, and Ward, with Assembly members Berman, Bloom, Levine, I fucking hate Mark Levine, and Quirk. Co-authors Senator Newman and Weiner. I'm going to get demonetized. Now, so let's actually read what this is talking about, and then we'll talk about the bigger implications of it. This is all relating to Gavin Newsom's plans to use Texas-style abortion ban laws in California to stop the sale of guns. Crazy. Now, AB 1894, as introduced, firearm civil suits. Existing law defines a public nuisance and provides that a public nuisance may be remedied by an indictment or information, a civil action, or abatement. Existing law also regulates the manufacture, sale, and marketing of firearms. This bill would specify that a gun industry member has created or maintained a public nuisance, as defined, if their failure to follow federal, state, or local law caused injury or death, or if the gun industry member engaged in unfair business practices. Now, you might notice there that it said if the gun makers or the gun industry members broke the law, then they could be sued in civil court, is basically the gist of that. That's a very brief statement. Dropped my phone. The bill text is very short as of right now. It's a work in progress. This is just the filler, the place notes. I'm sure there will be a lot more as time comes. But this is a concern because you also have that last part where it says, or engages in unfair business practices. And when you couple that with Gavin Newsom and his plans, when Texas was able to get away with their scheme to ban abortions by allowing private individuals to sue people, Gavin Newsom said that he wanted to target people that sold ghost gun or assault weapon kits. That's pretty concerning because let me show you something. This gun right here in the state of California is a fully functioning semi-automatic firearm. This is not an assault weapon. This gun has a telescoping or collapsible stock, has a pistol grip. It has a flare launcher, loaded by the way. This one does not have a flash hider, but it does have a muzzle brake, but this muzzle brake does look like a flash hider and has a flare launcher, right? So this gun you would think would be considered an assault weapon, but because I cannot depress this magazine without disassembling the firearm action by breaking it open, this gun is not an assault weapon. Okay, well, you might be saying, Reno, why are you even explaining all that to me? This is about lawsuits, not assault weapon laws. Well, I could buy every single one of these parts legally. It's then on me as a private individual to choose whether or not I would assemble it with certain other compliance parts to make it a non-assault weapon or a compliant firearm. That gun is totally legal. Buying many of the parts would be considered what is an assault weapon kit, or what it is believed that Gavin Newsom is referring to as an assault weapon kit or a ghost gun kit. This firearm here was manufactured by myself in the state of California from an 80%. This gun was part of a ghost gun kit. However, I did it legally by applying for a serial number so that I could show this kind of thing on camera. Again, cannot depress the magazine until I break the action open. However, that would be considered a ghost gun kit that I purchased. So while many of these things are legal, this sort of wording and this sort of targeted attack that both the governor, the Attorney General Rob Bonta, and these assembly members are going after is directly trying to attack any manufacturer or seller of firearms parts and accessories, or ghost gun kits as a means to bypass the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act that was unilaterally supported in 2005. So we look at some interviews from Ting and some other members that were signing this or writing this legislation, and here's what they had to say about it. Generally, they were saying that the firearms industry is the only type of business where you cannot be held liable for a defective product or a product hurting someone else. Now, here's what they talk about. They say that, if you have a defective toy, you can sue the toy maker, right? And that's what they're directly comparing it to. Well, now, let's say I purchased this firearm and I used the ammunition that they said they could use in it, but the manufacturer was using a barrel steel that was way too weak to handle the pressures of that cartridge, and they should have known better, and this gun blew up and hurt me. I could still sue the manufacturer of that firearm because that was actually negligence. That was a defective product. That is not what the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act protects. The PLCAA protects someone buying this gun and then going and doing something terrible with it, and then you can't sue the manufacturer of the gun. In the same way, you cannot sue Toyota because someone drunk drive booze cruises a Toyota Prius. It's not the gun maker or the car maker's fault for some private individual committing an illegal or unlawful act with those items that they manufacture. So it's a very false comparison. Then here's my favorite part about all this. You have these Democrats that are saying we have to do something about gun violence. Year after year, they're always saying gun violence, gun violence, gun violence. We have to stop it, right? We have to do something. We have to think of the children. And then they do things like this, where they make violent acts or they make actual criminals less likely to be put in jail by trying to reduce sentences, by trying to decriminalize actually violent, dangerous behavior. Now, if I could drop this magazine, or even if I couldn't, and I were to put a 30-round mag into this fixed mag AR-15, if I were to put this magazine into this gun, I would be committing a felony, right? And the California DOJ, the governor, and the state legislators would all cheer on me getting ass blasted in jail. But AB 1509 was recently failed last year, but it was attempting to reduce the penalties and the add-ons for sentencing if someone were to use a firearm in the commission of a felony. So let's say I'm going out and doing violent robberies, violent crimes, violent felonies, and I use a gun. The laws that they were trying to pass last year would have reduced the sentencing that I would have faced from 10, 20, 25 years to like under 3 years additional sentencing. Does that seem right to you? Do you think they really care about you? Do you think they care about your safety? Let me know what you think down below. So it's just crazy for me to see that these Democrats are trying to say, we have to do something. We're going to allow them to sue for a defective product, when that's not what they're trying to say at all. They're trying to actually allow people to sue for the actions of criminals, but not sue the criminals. Sue the people that sold the guns lawfully. Pretty crazy. Let me know what you guys think down below. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. Well, I am fairly certain that I have my friends over the new year. Some friends of mine were exposed previously at the end of December. Day 5 and 6, they took some rapid test, negative. Day 7, we all hung out. It was New Year's Eve. Day 8, they wake up and they feel sick after testing negative at days 5 and 6, which should have been plenty of time. They ended up turning out to be positive after we had just spent the entire night and previous day with them. All of the people that we were with are feeling terrible. Several of them tested positive for COVID. I got tested yesterday. The results haven't come back yet. I felt absolutely terrible yesterday. Felt kind of terrible, mediocre terrible 2 days before, or 2 days ago. And today I feel basically at 98%, so I'm going to go exercise. I hope you're all taking care of yourself. Hopefully I don't have. I would like to be able to go on some trips that I have planned that require me to get tested, and I can't go if I test positive. So, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all taking care of yourself. Peace.